Howdy, cruisers! Yesterday, I disembarked Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Utopia of the Seas. And while I do have some fun pet names for her, you're going to have to watch the full series to find out what those are. Well, when it comes out, because we still have a lot to catch up on. But I do have 10 hot takes from my sailing. Now, these are things that I noticed, maybe not the whole popular opinion and everything like that, but that's why you have me. So I've ordered them in bad to best. Why don't people say that more often? It actually sounds kind of good. Bad to best order of things that I noticed about Utopia of the Seas. Number 1, I missed the Hogwarts Express. Yes, I tried to book it ahead of time online, like you're supposed to, like they insist you do, plan your cruise 3 years ahead of time, but I was unable to. Every time I tried, it came back and said, error. Now, we all know what's going on. The Royal Caribbean group in general hates solos, and rather than book a foretop for just one person, I guess they decided they don't want to tell it to our face. They just want to throw back some random error, which not very good show. The weird part is that wasn't the only problem, because the restaurants seem to be, or some of them seem to be, generally oversubscribed as well. I went to Chops on the only sea day for lunch, and I think I was the last guest to be offered a table. Okay, no problem. But while I was waiting, still constantly a stream of guests would come in well before the end of the lunch service, only to be told that the restaurant was full and they were not able to be seated. So things didn't go perfectly, but they made it right. I'll put it that way. What was I saying? Oh, right, I was chatting with the host, and he was saying that they've been slammed all day, partly because that is the only lunch service that they do on the 4-day sailing, which is weird because my 2 experiences with this, Hogwarts Express and Chops, why is Royal Caribbean leaving all that money on the table? That's honestly really what I don't understand. They could very easily do an additional lunch service in Nassau. Or just do it in Nassau. The ship was full in Nassau, as it always is, so I don't know why they haven't thought about this, because people are willing to pay for these experiences. Believe me, any person who sailed Royal Caribbean before would definitely rather go and do the Utopia Station experience versus get off the ship in Nassau. So, whatever. Next. Oh, the water slides. Okay, yes, the toilet bowl is faster on this ship because it's a slightly different model, but the safety briefing, oh my god, it takes forever. And they give it to every group, no matter what. Even if you've done it before, even if you just climbed up the stairs and got in line again, right? They don't make you look at the sign, but you still have to stand through the whole thing. That takes maybe 3 or 4 times as long as letting that little group go down the slides. Now, there's might be reasons they want the line, but honestly, it's just really bad guest experience, and it's so annoying. I literally do not want to take it seriously. Next, what do we have? Okay, I'm doing this differently, okay? It's actually easier. Oh boy. Oh, Pesky Parrot. Okay, this is their new venue, and okay, so the thing is, I would call it decorated more than themed. And if you want a good comparison, compare original Universal, like the Royal Pacific, with a themed resort like Disney's Wilderness Lodge. That's the kind of difference it is. It's well decorated, but the theming is, I don't know. It just doesn't live up to the hype, and the drinks were, way too fruity, way too sweet. I think I tried 3 different ones, and honestly, I couldn't tell which was which if you put them in front of me right now. So, yeah, I don't know. Oddly, though, on this ship, it replaced the bionic bar, which I thought was kind of a weird thing. Oh, that actually is the next one. They replaced the bionic bar with the Pesky Parrot. Okay, I'm a little bit conflicted about this, because everybody says the bionic bar is a one-and-done experience. You go, you do it, and that's it. And that's pretty much what I have done. I don't think I went there on Wonder of the Seas. I think I only went twice on Symphony of the Seas. So, and even on like Anthem or whatever. And yeah, it's fun to do once. The thing is, though, this ship is specifically for the new cruiser. right? They want to put their best foot forward for the brand new cruiser on these 3 and 4 day sailings. So why not put the impressive thing that people might only do once and then maybe not sail on that ship again, so it doesn't matter? You know, yeah. Now, mind you, cost. It probably, even with the labor involved in running the bar, probably still cost them more to run the robots, because reasons, than actual bartenders. So, yeah, I get it, but it's just weird. That's something you would want to put in front of new cruisers to impress them. All right, next. Oh, okay. We've reached, I guess this is number 5, middle of the road, and this is as middle of the road Comet as you can get. It is not the world's biggest weekend. It is just another Oasis Class ship. Now, I'm saying this for me as somebody who sailed on Wonder of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas. That's it. The experience wasn't really that different, and Royal, whoever's in charge of the marketing, get a clue. Saying the biggest weekend, the world's biggest weekend, during the week, people are laughing at you. I heard a number of snarky comments when the cruise director would say, "Welcome to the world's biggest weekend." People are like, "It's Tuesday." Yeah, that's not going over very well. And it kind of makes you look a little bit silly. And if it's going to be the world's biggest weekend, I did a video about this a couple months ago. It needs to be Friday through Monday, like a 4-day weekend. That would be the world's biggest weekend. Okay, not 3 days and then a 4-day week cruise. It's like you're not even trying. So change that up a little bit, or come up with a better term for the midweek cruise. Because people are laughing at you. Then, however, the parties. Yes, the parties were pretty good. I will say that. Better than Icon because more people went. So I went to, there was the Red Party and there were actually people there. I went to the Resolution Party. There were actually people there. And I will say, the Royal Kappa Chi, great idea. I love this. And, I will put it this way. I went to college. I was in the fraternity. So yes, I love this. However, I think a number of guests might not get it because earlier in the day, I heard a guest, she was like, "What is Kappa Chi and why is that a party?" or something like that. And I didn't know what she was talking about until I was scrolling through the schedule for later and I saw Royal Kappa Chi and it's like, oh, that's what she was referring to. So yeah, I don't know. No, don't change it. Don't change it. It's still super fun. And then the toga party. Yeah, that was kind of cool. If I'd known, I would have brought a costume. Anyway, next, the food was better than expected, but I could tell she is not the flagship. That's probably still Icon. But they gave her a little bit of extra money, but not the full shebang. The food quality was fairly consistently good with one huge exception, and there'll be a video about that coming. And then the new big thing about the food truck, again, I'll talk about that in the video. Didn't really hit home, but yeah. So maybe you have 4 more months to sail Utopia for good food. So yeah, go now while you can. Next, number 8. This is probably going to sound so silly and trivial, but to me it was huge. The staterooms were ready at 1 p.m. instead of 1:30. Now, I get it. What's 30 minutes? I know that, but on a short cruise, that's a big deal. Or being able to get into your stateroom a half hour earlier, and maybe you just boarded the ship, or maybe you just boarded at noon and did your safety, you went to your muster station and then go directly to your stateroom. I think that's going to be a huge thing for a lot of people. And me, with the backpack and the champagne, yes, I was really looking forward to putting that down. So having them ready at 1 o'clock versus 1:30, that is a definite win. That is a huge, huge win. And finally, number 10, Royal Caribbean has this down. They have it down so good. The embarkation and disembarkation or debarkation, whatever process, effortless, totally smooth, no issues. It just walked right on the ship, walked right off the ship, barely stopped, and just for the barest of formalities, like taking another picture of the passport. I don't know why other cruise lines have not figured this out. I don't know, but there were no lines, nothing, no lines, no waiting. They didn't have even stanchions up for disembarkation. That's how quick it was. Now, the reason is because they have 4 gangways, basically 2 doors and two little ramps each. So There was no holdups, nothing blocking the way. It is literally not that hard. But you know what? It's good. You know why it's really, really good? It's because you don't board the cruise ship frustrated by the check-in and embarkation process, and you don't leave the cruise ship frustrated by the disembarkation process. So another huge, huge win for Royal Caribbean. Anyway, that is my my list of 10 hot takes from, oh, that reminds me, I do want to give a shout out to the entertainment on Utopia of the Seas. They did an absolutely fantastic job. And plus 5 to Royal Caribbean for having a legitimate country music experience up in the Mason jar. So few cruise lines do anything like this, have an actual country experience, that I appreciate it. So good on you. Oh, and Mason jar, redemption arc. Yes, a video coming up, which will talk about that as well. Okay, well, there we go. 10 hot takes from Utopia of the Seas. Will I be sailing her again? Well, probably not, but I still have yet to sail on a Freedom class ship. So if I book a cruise on Freedom, Independence, or Liberty, and you just happen to choose the same sailing, I'll see you on board.